Hi, my name is Amy. Thank you very much for watching, and let's make some bad financial decisions together. This is for entertainment purposes only, so if you're entertained, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate that. So, am I the only one that had fun today? I know that the market went down, but I actually enjoyed doing the SPY leap, and rolling it over. I made $514.68 today on my SPY leap. I think I take back basically every bad thought I've ever had about my SPY leaps. I think they're more fun in a down market, because you make so much money, and I was able to roll them forward in time, and they're going to be lots of fun on the way back up. Mostly because I don't pay attention that much. So the SPY often gets above the cost of my call, and then I have to roll it forward, but it's not as profitable as if you roll it before it hits that price. It's complicated. But on the way down in free fall, it's fine. I'm pretty happy with this. So I only have to make $100 more for the rest of the week, and I'll make up for what I took out to pay off my 0% credit cards. So, it is what it is at this point. But we did lose a lot of money today. We've lost money last week. We've lost money this month. And I think I have lost money overall. Yep. So, it's fine though. That's what happens when you have so much volatility and invest in Bitcoin. There's going to be down days. So, I'm not any closer than what's become normal to having a margin call. So, the most I can do is continue to do my option plays, get paid for my distributions, and just try to work on my buffer, because I've already input the $2,000 from the rent, so I'm not going to putting any more new money into my account this month. So any kind of buffer will just have to be made for with premiums. So I actually didn't realize why my options collateral was going up, because I haven't sold any new puts, but it's because the price of the SPY right now is actually below the value of my LEAP, and so I've had to offer up collateral in order to be in the SPY plays that I'm in. So by the end of the week, I will go back to some of the higher prices. That way, over the weekend, I just won't have that much collateral, and I can always go back down. So, the overall value of my portfolio is less, but I'm on track to be earning $1,000 with my options play and then Misty's this week, and that's fun. But what I actually wanted to talk about today was thank you, David, for sending me this debt analysis. I meant to respond to it when I first got it, but the video that happened with it wound up being too long and not focused enough, so I wound up not talking about it. But today we are talking about this. And I have honestly been so focused on April and July. I am very focused on my my credit card 0% interest. I want that gone. And then if I still have my job and everything else by July, I'm pretty much going to keep the same pace and just have an emergency fund. I do have some expenses I know that are coming up. So I would love to be able to pay for those and not have to take out, open up a new 0% credit card and just start the new cycle again. I'd really appreciate appreciate it for myself to just have the money if I know I'm going to have expenses. So, and there's always planned expenses, especially since I own a house and a condo. And so, anyways, they ran the analysis and they say if I just use Misty to pay off my debt, I should be able to pay it off in about 5 years. And this tracks for me. My explanation of that before was getting at I just have not had the time or the mental capacity to sit down and do a long-term goal, because for me, first of all, my trailer's mortgage is at 8.75%, and it is basically impossible for me to refinance that. So, and my truck is at 5.15% interest. So, the difference with that interest rate makes it so that the tax benefits of it is not worth paying off my truck before my trailer. However, now I am going to be refinancing my truck probably, and so we're creeping closer to the truck and the trailer being the same price, but I am going to prefer paying off my trailer, because if the worst happens, I would really love a place to live. And if the worst happens, I could trade my truck in for something and buy a little bit of a clunker or something. And so, in the worst case, my truck is in more liquid asset where I could refinance it again or something dumb like that. So, I do appreciate your opinion on that, and it is good to get a second opinion and more eyeballs on the situation. My inclination is, instead of overpaying these type of debts because they are below, a 10% interest, that's just leverage for me to be able to invest more. So instead of spending the next 5 years paying off the debt, I could invest more, and then I'll have more distributions. And then when I have that certain level of distributions, then I could start really aggressively paying off the debt, and it will be quicker because I'll have more dividends in which to pay the debt. But that's a little complicated, and I haven't thought it all the way through yet. So what it might wind up looking like is the 60-40 thing that I had going on before, where after I pay off my second credit card, when I only have my generator outstanding, which is about $11,000, I'll start keeping 60% of what I earn through distributions and premiums in my account, and then take 40% out to pay for taxes, and then to overpay for credit cards and savings accounts and whatever other expenses I have. And that'll just have to be good enough. So if it takes me more than 5 years, then it does. If it takes me less, then I guess it's also what it is. There's just so much uncertainty in the market right now, and my job prospects, and everything I have, I've done well-established emergency plans before, so I would probably wind up just, taking out my credit card debt and then paying back my 401k loan, and then just supporting myself through these types of options and cover calls, and getting rid of my trailer, not my trailer, keeping the trailer, getting rid of my condo through the short sale, and just making it so I don't have to generate as much money in order to keep the lifestyle that I have, which is not even all that extravagant. My biggest expense, besides my condo and the HOA and my trailer and my truck, is my pets. But I'm not going to get rid of my pets because I'm having a temporary problem. And technically I'm making enough money. It should not be an issue. But I am glad that the amount of outstanding debt that I have, if my renter just continues having a job and I continue having a job, even if I didn't put any of it in the stock market, I could just use the money from my tenant to pay the rest of my credit cards off before they start accruing interest, which is in January 2026. So I'd rather have it paid off well before, in December 2025, December of this year. That way there's no loophole and I just don't get a bunch of interest piled on. So, in conclusion, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for sending me this, and I'm going to be referring back to it as I make a better debt repayment plan for myself. Right now, in this correction, crash, bear market, stagflation, whatever the heck is going on right now, it does not feel good to be taking any money out. I would rather just use it to buy stocks, but the responsible thing to do is to set money aside for taxes. And since I don't have an emergency fund anymore, or this is my emergency fund, and I have, debts and goals, then it is what it is. So, anyways, I usually ask a question, but I think my question is, what is your approach to your emergency fund? I've heard, just 3 to 6 months of expenses, but some people, they separate out the different needs of their emergency funds, because some emergencies aren't emergencies. They're things that, the furnace breaks. Well, you should have been putting money aside for the last 20 years to replace it eventually, because it's not a surprise. I mean, it is an emergency when it happens, but it's not a surprise. So there's different categories of I generally need a household repair fund, but it's not my emergency fund. Or when I was younger and first starting out, I got impatient and I had a 3-month emergency fund in cash, and then started a taxable brokerage account and invested. And that worked out fine until I had an emergency and I realized I really don't want to convert any of my stocks to cash ever. I want them to stay in the stock market and to continue to earn. And it seems like I will never have an emergency that is in a good market time. So, like, it'll always be the worst time to withdraw from the market whenever I have an emergency, which may not be statistically true, but that's how it feels like. So, I'm just, and nowadays my opinion has been like, what if I just generate enough income through premiums and distributions that I just have enough money to live in perpetuity? And that's what I'm racing towards. So, anyways, I will talk to you all later. Have a good day.